You get to share one. Why are you here? God, guys, it's so new. Oh, there's another one. This one, I sound like this. You can have the unaffected one. 2 mics. I can't say that word. You don't have to have this one. There's no one on the soundboard. We've started, by the way. This is going very well. Hi, I'm Troy Baker, and I'm an alcoholic. No, sorry. Wrong one. Hey, you want one of these guys? Why do they always have to choose a picture of Joel when he's mad? You ever see that? Like, there are some pictures where he's having a good time. He's happy, he's laughing. There's like 3 across both games and DLC. Doesn't matter. Look, let me just sit down for a second. I have learned with these things that I can sit here and do what I just did for longer, which is a weird thing for you to experience as public. This is what I'm like at home. I just walk around and just weird stuff falls out of my face in the form of words and sounds. And it's weird now because I have a 7-year-old and he's doing it. I have this weird cocktail of both pride and shame, like I've somehow failed and succeeded as a father. But for the purposes of the panel, it can be a little weird. So, to that end, we have a weirdly placed mic that apparently, if you're a worm, is mic perfectly for you. If not, you can grab it. I wish you could experience what I experienced from this side. Because it's weird to have just a bunch of phones in your face. And you would think that I should go, who did that? Let me see this. You're never getting this back.
That is mean for me. I think that's on purpose.
Mine now.
I'm coming back for that.
Thank you, Teespring. Anything is possible. This is incredible. Hi, baby. Hi, service dog. You're doing a very good job. Okay. So here's what I want to do. There's a lot of you. I'm hoping that there's good questions. Very thoughtful questions. Not like favorite. No, I don't have a favorite. There's your answer. So solve that one. But I want to know what's on your mind, and I feel like we can get into a good dialogue. Is that cool for you guys? I don't want to sit here and tell stories I've told before. I'd rather find some new ones. So, who's got a question? Aha, Plaid, go, Mike.
All right.
And your doppelganger is right behind you somehow. That's weird. Is he like a stunt guy, just in case? There's another one next to you. What is it, Plaid convention? What's going on? This is crazy. Remember, if I fail, you jump in for me, right? I got it. I got the last one. All right, here we go. Your question is?
Howdy, Troy. First off, I just wanted to say congratulations on Death Stranding 2.
It's all me. I did all of this, so I get the congratulations. Thank you.
You and the entire team at Computer Productions did a phenomenal job, and it is a very incredible role. And so, I guess my question with that is, you've worked with Kojima now a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
How has your relationship, like your working relationship with him, changed from when you started with Metal Gear Solid 5 to working on Death Stranding 2?
There's a lot less of me going, so that's good. Look, man, I'm really, what's the word? Fortunate, I guess, is a good word to use. Because I've been able to work with like all the paragons. There's one that I haven't, and I really want to work with him, and that's Jordan Mechner, who did Prince of Persia. You know who Jordan Mechner is? Yeah. He lives in Paris now, and he's like super aloof, or elusive, not aloof. But yeah, now I'll never work with him. So I've had the opportunity to work with like paragons of the industry. And it's not lost on me as someone who loves games and who's played games for a long time, that being able to work with these people that I've played their stories and I've played their experiences is wow. So like going from being on Metal Gear with Hideo and him saying, this is the next line we need for you to say. And I looked down and I was like, you're pretty good. I'm like, dude. To standing on set with him, and he does such a great job of setting up his performers with all the information and all the tools they need. There's a lot of times when he was like, hey, it's really important, I want you guys to have, it's called context, it's like an earwig, a little headphone that's in our ears, so that we can hear specific sound cues or music, or other people's lines that aren't there. He's like, I want you to be as immersed as possible, because he understands it's a weird medium. So I would say that what's happened over the now 10 plus years of working with him is that trust has been built. And trust is not earned, trust is given, because he was always worthy of it. It's not like he got better and so therefore his, credit line of trust could increase, but rather my willingness to give trust came over because of something that changed in me. I'm just grateful. And when a director looks at an actor and goes, I've got a role for you, we normally think, okay, and we don't think it's gonna happen. And he followed through on it. And he has done not only me, but I think that character of Higgs a great service by creating this, once again, an incredibly iconic character. So I'm honored, man.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Hey, thank you. Stand up, really good. Hey, I finished one in under 5 minutes. That's not bad. It's a really good thing for me. My love, you just there and yes, you're so perfectly good at that. Yeah. If you guys want to line up too, we get through very quicker. If you don't mind standing a little bit, go for it.
Hi, Sarah. Nice to meet you. My question is, you just came off of doing Death Stranding and Indiana Jones,
and I am spent.
And that's it. You're done. No more. But you got to create an iconic character in a new format, such as indie. Is there any other iconic role in any other medium that you would like to try to bring to like a video game format?
Who's never been in a video game?
Yeah.
Oof. Yeah, man. Like I love games. I believe that I'm an apologist for the medium, because I think that ever since we began writing on cave walls, this is where the arrow has been pointing. It's how, because when I tell you a story, I'm like, you always hear this, it's like, you should have been there. And that means I want you to experience what I did. It was so good. And we do this great job of describing our experience because we want to share it. We want to communicate that. We're not meant to be alone. We're supposed to be together in everything, in joy and in suffering. That's why we watch movies. That's why we watch shows. That's why we play games. That's what birthed this whole online playing thing is. I'm having my experience, but I want you to have your experience. If you go back to like the old days, anybody remember LAN parties? Woo! What's up? CNC, man. Like we would, red alert, baby, we would hook up machines together, and this is how we would play. And it's very similar to like, if you look at how the Beatles recorded a day in the life, they went between all the different rooms of Abbey Road and literally manually hit play and record on each of those 4-track recorders so that they could get the maximum amount of recording done at one time. And that's what all we've been doing as artists since the very, very beginning. I'm not going to talk about AI, but I'm really close. I'm not like pushing for it. I'm not a Web3 guy or whatever. But I'm not afraid of our lineage of storytelling because it's been ingrained in us ever since we could utter a sound. Do you know that we were singing before we were talking? Because there's so much more information that's communicated through music. There's a thing that we do every night at our house now where we have chill time, separate chill time. My son comes back from camp or from school or whatever, and he chills and he hangs out. And then when dinner starts, we get together, we all talk. And then once dinner is over, no more screens, we put on an album, not Spotify playlist, an album. And when that album is done, the night's over, and we all go to bed. It's been incredible. I really encourage you to start doing this. And I'm talking like, we went from Pet Sounds to like Janet Jackson, the Janet Jackson 1993 Janet Jackson album. They know what I'm talking about. And my son is in the other room, and he goes, like third song in, and we just see him pop his head and he's playing with Lego. And he goes, yo, this is a jam. I'm like, yes, every song is a banger. And like going through and like all the albums that meant something to me in my 20s and 30s and sharing that with my wife. Like we've been together for 13, 14 years now. It's like insane. What was your question?
Is there any
Iconic characters I want to bring in? No, not really. I think we're all good. The reason why I say this is that I want to tell stories inside this medium, and I think that there's all sorts of opportunity for us to adapt something and bring it into this. Man, what a great opportunity to create some new characters. There are some new voices that we have had emerge in the last 10 years that need an icon. They need an avatar inside of this medium. And we don't need to take James Bond and put him through the blender again as something different. We need to create a new character. We need to tell new stories. There's new kinds of people walking on this planet that are finally getting a voice. Don't take new wine and put it in old wineskin. Let's just completely do a new vineyard. That's what I think. And I think everybody wants it, but everyone's afraid to say that's what they want. So I want to create new characters. And the truth is, I may not be the person to be able to bring that character. There's experiences that people have had that I can't speak to, and they need to speak to it. I'm a dude, believe it or not, straight, white, cis dude. And there's some stories that need to be told that are not from that perspective anymore. And so what I want to do, what my job is, what my contribution to this medium can be, is to clear a path for new voices to come and tell their story and let me help them do it. That's what I want to do. Cheers. Yeah. It's Friday too, y'all. I'm treating like it's Sunday. Y'all just came to church. What's up? How can I help you?
Hey, what's up, dude? So you've been in everything, and I love all your roles, but
That's a great transition. Butter me up. Go ahead.
Okay, so you were Snow in Final Fantasy 13, which I played when I was a kid, and I was wondering, what was it like to play such an awesome character like that?
Man, you pulled it up, and that nose just went right up on the hard deck at the last part. Because you made me feel old. Here's a funny story. I was in Los Angeles for about 3 years, 2.5 years, maybe not even that long. And I was making my way around studios, and I was a grunt. I was doing a lot of Soldier A stuff, screaming a lot of Get Down and Grenade. And I was happy, man, because I was paying my rent. And then all of a sudden, there's this audition that came through for a code name, whatever. And at that time, I was just auditioning for everything. So like, it didn't matter. I would audition for, if there was a character I was going to audition for, and I was submitting like 5 different roles. They were like, stop, pick 2, and that's it. But on this one, I had auditioned for 2 characters on this thing, and I got one of them. And I got to play Sid in Final Fantasy 15. It was like, sweet, there's a Sid in every Final Fantasy. That's awesome. And then, okay, somebody doesn't like this story. So then I find out that the director, who's someone I'd never worked with before, named Jack Fletcher, had told Square Enix that, hey, I think Troy Baker should play Snow. And they're like, no, we're gonna use this person. He goes, okay, if you don't listen to me, I walk. We had never worked together. And this is before Last of Us, so it's not like, well, of course you're Troy Baker. It's like, no, dude, no, I was nobody. Nobody. I was somebody to me. So I walk into this session. I've never met this dude before, and here comes this long, silver-haired, ponytail, Birkenstock, Berkeley hippie, jazz dude. He goes, hey, I'm Jack. Don't mess this up because both of our asses are on the line. And so I walked in for my audition / first session, and we get through. He goes, okay, I think we're good. So that's how I became Snow in Final Fantasy. And that's when people started going, oh, he can do lead roles? Here we go. And just threw it all at me. But the truth is like, people say luck, and it's not luck, man. I worked my ass off, and I showed up on time, prepared, and ready for anything. And it's not about luck. No, how many actors do we have? Sweet. How many people want to be actors? Okay, let's try this again. You're actors. The only difference is someone has either not or has given you a paycheck for it. That's it. In the same way that Hideo didn't like all of a sudden become worthy of trust, more trust was given to him. He was always that voice. He was always that talent. Same thing with you. The only thing you're lacking is someone going, and who would I make a check out to? That's it. So, how many actors do we have? One of the first jobs I ever had, someone who still remains a dear friend to me this day, Lou Diamond Phillips, and he took me under his wing, and I said, let me ask you a question, man. At what point in your career was stop? I went, what? I didn't even ask my question, because you're already wrong. Because what I hear you saying is, you think at one point in your career, you're gonna be deserving of something. And I'm telling you right now, that will never happen. You don't deserve anything. Everything is given to you. Doesn't mean that you don't have to ask for it though. But it better be something you're willing to walk away from. And Jack Fletcher was someone who demonstrated that. He was like, I believe in this, and if you don't, then I'm not the right guy. God damn it. I'm not the right guy, and I'm gonna walk. And he put his ass on the line, and he gave me a leg up. And to this day, I'm grateful to that man. And that's what I do every job. I show up and I do the work. And if I can't do it, you'll never know. Because they'll get somebody else to do it. Don't ever be afraid of showing the world your failure, because the truth is, they'll probably never see it. Cool? Thanks, man. I'm getting fired up. I don't know about you guys. Is that a Summer 41 shirt? Bro. Oh man, my early Y2K days are coming back.
Oh man, it's
What
all
you
coming
got?
back, man. Quick question for you. You've done a number of roles. Your career is prolific and long. I wanted to do two questions for you. One, what is a role you either want to revisit in like a new game, or one that you look back and I've got so much more experience, I'd like to do it differently? And what's a character that you maybe auditioned for or never got a chance to that you wish you could have played?
Bro. Man, is there any character I'd like to revisit? This sweet baby. You guys can't see, this dog is just like, I am so bored by this. There are many characters that I want to revisit. I miss Joel every day. Does it mean that, hold on. Hold on, Neil's calling me, what? No, I'm not tired. Oh, I'm fired. Does it mean that Naughty Dog will tell another story? It doesn't mean that I necessarily want to or will tell another story. All I know is that I miss them every day. And even playing The Last of Us Part 2, in the time between that scene and when you go for her birthday, I'm like, I stopped and he's like standing there in a goofy hat in the middle of the water, and I just stopped the controller. I was like, I didn't realize how much I missed him. Like, how much I missed him being in the game, and like, stuff like that the whole time. There's all sorts of characters. Man, I think this is the attention actors. This is a little bit of the curse. You will always look in your rearview mirror. You will always, as a director, I tell actors this, I don't want your best take to be on the highway on the way home. Get it out now. Even if it's terrible, just try. Leave it all on the dance floor. And so what I don't want is for my best work to be behind me, but I want my best work to be ahead. And I think that I've constantly got to be reiterating and, not reiterating rather, reinventing and iterating. Iteration is the key to every good successful game studio. You're constantly trying new ideas. So I don't know, man, anytime that someone comes back and goes, hey, we gotta, like if Sucker Punch called and says we want to do something with Elsa, I want to hear about it for sure. Anytime that someone goes, how would you feel being the Joker again? I'm like, yes. And there's always a fear that's attached to that too, because I'm always afraid it's not going to be as good, you know. But that's the curse of the life, is that you're always checking your rearview mirror. The goal is to just stop as much as you can. And then the second question was, anyone that I auditioned for that I didn't get? How about worse? How about the jobs that you got that you replaced? Those are fun. And I'm grateful for those too. Auditions, man, I can't remember those as much. But there are jobs that I had, and they taught me so much. I was Mad Max. Yeah, right? And I shot for like a week on this game, and by the end of it, Karen Fishman was the producer, and she called me, she was like, hey, I got some bad news. I was like, what's up? And she said, the team has been taking the data from the mocap shoot back to the studio, and it's not working. Like, you're too tall, you're too lean for Mad Max. I'm like, that makes sense. And she goes, it's gonna cost too much to fix the data. It's not working. I was like, okay. She goes, so what do you want to do? I said, well, you should hire Brian Bloom. And if you don't get him, that's when I'm gonna be mad. And so they did, and he crushed the role. I don't know if you play the game or not, it's really, really fun. But more than anything, it was about, sometimes it's not about, did I get a job, but did I help them make the right choice? Did I help them make a better product? And I think that's what I'm constantly trying to put myself into. So I look at every major role that I've had, I almost said no to. So I'm not necessarily the best judge for what jobs I should and shouldn't do. I almost walked out of the audition for Joel. I flatly turned down the Joker. And when Tom Keegan called me to do Indiana Jones, I said, let me give you two names and these people will solve your problem. I'm an idiot. But it's always because I want to make sure that I'm a solution to their problem. I used to call myself a problem solver, and I realized that in order to be that, I had to constantly be looking for a problem, and that's annoying. So instead, I'm a solution. Maybe I'm the solution if that's the problem, but maybe somebody else is the solution. So I don't know, man. If I get to work, I'm happy, but even if I don't get to work, I've had a hell of a run, and I deserve complaints.
Thanks, Trevor.
Thank you. Now I see. Okay, go on. We did this before. Remember the stunt double?
One of my most favorite stories came out of in Star Wars: The Old Republic,
Yeah, man.
where you played among other characters, Stellan Shawn. So I don't know much about how the game was made. How was it like getting into the character, playing him, evolving from a quest giver to a fallen companion?
I just did such a great job. They were like, let's give him more to do. It's a great character, you know what I mean? And I have, I get to brush it with zest as it goes out the door. The chefs in the kitchen is really doing the hard work. My favorite thing about that is that game gave more SAG cards to actors than anything else. Like, there's so many people, there's like, and we don't always know who's on it. Perfect example is, after 10 years of working on this game and being very good friends with Nolan North, I had no idea he was the player character. We romanced each other. I had no idea. And he was like, wait, that's you? I was like, that's you? It was strange. It was, I almost made a terrible joke. I'm not gonna do it. No. There's children here. What was your question?
The evolution, I guess, because originally Stellan Shawn was just a quest giver in.
Yeah, he was also kind of a bad guy, right? So,
yeah.
The beauty of this is this. It all comes down to the game has needs. One of my favorite quotes is from Richard Burton when he says, I will give you everything as an actor, but if you give me nothing in return, I will take it from you. And that is someone who, it sounds aggressive, but it's someone who understands that the scene is a beast, and the beast is hungry, and the beast must eat. And if we do not feed the beast will die. So, guess what, actors? It's not about you. It's about the scene. We are all glorified zookeepers. And ain't nobody coming to the zoo to see the zookeeper. They come to see the beast. So feed the beast. That's all we have to do. So as an actor, if I think like, I'm an actor, this is the most important thing, and I'm the most important person, I'm the main character in my story. Or I can go, what do you need? And when you find people like Darrow Farrell, who's Darrow Farrell, who's the Darrow Green, who's a comedian, doesn't matter. Darrow Farrell, who's the director on that, and I've worked with Darrow for years now. He can go, get me Troy, he'll be the solution to the problem. And so we come in and we feed the beast. And the beauty of this is that as actors, I had an actor tell me, he said, I'm trying to focus on maintaining my arc. And I'm trying to figure out where I'm at in the arc. And I just want to make sure that there's an arc to this. And I just offhanded said, arc is an editor's job. It's not an actor's job. Your job is to live moment to moment. What is happening to you right now, not in relation to a moment that may happen later. Play the moment right now. And trust that there's editors that go, we're gonna move this stuff around. This is where it tells the arc. But actors, your arc is not your responsibility. And you will frustrate yourself, your director, your writer, and ultimately your editor if you're trying to do their job. Just focus on the moment. Cool? Thanks, Brian. Appreciate it. Is this cool? You guys doing this? Hey, what you got?
My question is about your experience working on the HBO set for The Last of Us.
Okay.
And what it was like playing a different character and seeing somebody else embody Joel.
It was funny. Reuben Langdon played that role when we shot the game. I'm sure somewhere in his cabin up in, where is he at? Big Bear? He was like, hey, I was available. How can I open the bottle?
Child.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It was really hard. Neil goes, hey, we got a role for you for the show. I was like, dude, you didn't have to do that, man. Thank you. He goes, no, we want to give you a role. What is it? He goes, you're going to play James. And I said, man, thank you. Who's James? He goes, the guy with the buddy boy. I went, oh, what is your obsession with killing me? And we worked the deal out and everything. We figured when we're shooting, and I show up on set, and the first thing is when Ellie comes across us, David and I, and I'm standing there, and we're on this location outside of Calgary. It's cold. Like, you should move. Cold. Like, no, there's Canada and there's this. The Canadians go, whoa. Sorry. And so we're standing there, and I've got this wardrobe on, and I've got this rifle, and there's a fake deer, and it's fake. And then the river, and off I can see the sawmill, and then I'm just sitting there, and they're doing something. They have 5 cameras somewhere aimed at us, and wait, someone gonna come out? I'm used to like Neil coming out and like we have this whole thing, and I go, you're wrong. He's like, you're wrong, and we go, okay, we'll try it your way. And he's like, I told you I was right. That's not the way we work. And no one's doing that, so I'm just kind of sitting there like, hey, actors ready? And I was like, oh shoot, we're going. And I just went, and Scott behind me, David behind me was like, what are you doing? It's like a serious moment. I was like, dude, if you had any idea how weird this was, if I could just somehow tear through the fabric of space-time, peek my head in to me back in 2010 and go, dude, you're not gonna believe this. It's so weird. Neil and I both says, like, how would you describe The Last of Us? It's surreal. It's just surreal, the fact that it's been as incredibly successful as it's been, and now it's this incredibly successful HBO show, it's winning all these awards. And that's no longer the word that I would use to describe it. And that's really after meeting a lot of you people. It's life-changing. And I'm not using that as a hyperbole. I'm not using that as some thing to put up on a review under 5 stars. And it's life-changing. There's people that this has changed their life. It's changed my life. So when I'm sitting there on set, I'm going, golly. And not only that, but also looking at the crew and seeing how much effort the crew put into that show, because every single person on that set was a fan. It was like, we have to get this right. There were details in that sawmill that you never saw that you would lose your mind over. The intricacy, the detail, the accuracy, the authenticity, it was insane. Absolutely insane. I'm proud of that show. Season 1 was absolutely incredible. Season 2 showed that it's a huge story and you can tell the story in a different way. I have no idea where they're going. I mean, going back to Seattle, season 3, I have no idea what's on deck for season 2. And I have no idea where the story goes on from there. But I do know this, based upon what you guys have shown me, some of the best stories are not going to come from HBO or Naughty Dog. They're going to come from you. Some of the best art is not going to come from Naughty Dog or HBO. It's going to come from you. If you ever bring me a piece of art, you will hear me say this word. So if you don't have the chance to do it, let me say it to you now. It takes talent to make art, but it takes courage to share it. And your art is not for you. You don't make art to go, that makes me feel so good. Your art does not exist to serve you. You exist to serve your art. Make it and get it out. It's kind of like a fart. Cool? Thank you. There's more of you.
Yeah.
Here you come. Hi.
So a little preface to my question is, I saw you once say that you were really afraid when you came in for the test for job, because you were like, yeah, I'm lean, I'm blonde, and there's those guys are growing and all mysterious.
I sounded just like that, by the way.
Yeah, exactly like this. And as an actor myself, that is really interested in mocap and started a little bit to dabble into it, because I used to be really typecasted in theater and I was sick of it. What would be your advice to get more into voice acting and mocap as a new actor that is coming from something else?
Well, dude, first of all, you're so incredibly, the energy that's coming out, I'm not talking about woo-woo stuff, I'm not talking about energy. Like, you come at me directly, and that's your best asset. Okay?
Thank you.
If anyone has ever told you, whoa, get it out of your life, because they can't handle it, because you sparkle, babe.
Oh, thank you.
So here's the deal. I would not tell you how to do voice. I would not tell you to limit yourself to any kind of technology right now, because God, why would I limit you to that? What I will say is this: all of those things are based upon how do we tell the story the best way. So your talent is going to be best served by you being able to, what is it, Stanislavski who said, acting believably under unreal circumstances? Was Meisner? I'm an idiot. Thank you. Just like Meisner said, take 2. Pick up. I know. It doesn't matter. Stay on target. You being able to act believably under unreal circumstances is all you have to do. Sometimes you've got a mic, sometimes you've got a stage, sometimes you have a camera, sometimes you don't have any of those things. It's just you. Can you believably convey the stakes that character is up against? So the thing about mocap is I had no idea what I was doing. All I knew is that what was happening around me. That doesn't mean that you go, oh, I'm this character and I'm not in this room right now, but I'm actually in a cave. And you try to convince yourself of that. One of my favorite phrases, I'm gonna say a bad word, one of my favorite lessons from Tom Keegan, who was the performance director on many things, including Indiana Jones, was it's all bullshit. None of this is real. Like, we're on a stage in Stockholm, and you're wearing a ridiculous suit. There's a helmet with a camera hanging off your face. We're not on a ship that's stuck in the Himalayas. None of it is all bullshit. So don't try to believe and think and make sure that it's real. Just react to what's happening in the moment, and the picture will do the work. So that's one of the things that I would tell you. So don't limit yourself to any kind of technology, but what I would say is that you as an actor being able to make choices and just commit fully to them is your best asset. Being able to do that is, and ask questions. Don't be afraid. Go, I'm sorry, has anyone considered this? If it doesn't make sense to me, it won't make sense to the audience. Now, that could also mean that I'm an idiot and I don't understand it yet. But at least if I can understand one of the best lines in Matrix, Matrix 2 actually, was when she says, you can't make a choice you don't understand. And you have to be able to understand that choice. Just throwing a lot, like a paprika, spices, and a bunch of stuff.
It's great.
But did I answer your question?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Do not be afraid. That's what I got from it.
Fear not. Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Piggybacking off of that, how much time? 10 minutes? Yes, blue. Once, but nobody else was there. I will say this. David Milch said once that actors will either act out of fear or faith, and our jobs as creatives is to create an environment that allows them to circumnavigate that fear and operate in that place of faith. When we make choices out of fear, we make bad choices. Best choices are made out of faith, not fear. What you got, Ellie? You look great.
So my favorite superhero of all time is Hawkeye, and I know
Dude, let's
I know that
go.
you played Hawkeye in the Assemble, the great TV show. So I just want to know, like, what do you think? How do you think Clint feels about being like this regular guy, fighting against gods and monsters all the time? Like, what do you think? Like, he's in his sight and stuff.
Okay. Nobody ever asked me about Hawkeye. You were my You know what Great Ultimates? Okay. That's one of the best Hawkeyes ever. Shouldn't have dropped me in the kitchen. Woof! Woof! And then 2 issues later, they're sitting there and he's just being interrogated. And I was like, what? He goes, you left my fingernails. Flick! Kills a guy with his fingernail. That's the Hawkeye that I've always wanted to see. But the problem is that you kind of got, Renner kind of started getting into that era a little bit in like the later Avengers movies, but at that point we're just like, ugh. So, what I think about Clint is that he's one of the most dangerous people on that team because the only other person that can kind of relate to him is Tony. Because everybody else is a god, whatever. You can turn and you drank something bad once and you have the worst hangover because you turn into a green thing that eats people, whatever. There's all these characters. I love DC. Marvel to me, this is the best description I've ever heard. DC is God becoming man, Marvel is man becoming God. Oh, right? Good. It's not mine, this is good. And you've Superman, falls from heaven to earth, right? You have, besides Batman, you've got pretty much Green Lantern, you have all these like very supernatural characters. But in Marvel, you've got people like Clint that are just really good and never miss. There's no supernatural abilities, he's just good. That's what I love about Hawkeye. Same thing for Matt Murdock. Daredevil is the same thing for me. It's like, man, one of the most interesting characters in all of comic books because it's that typical thing of defined by your tragedy, but being able to just flip that and go, what people view as a disability is my superpower. That is so incredible. So, what was your question? Why is Hawkeye awesome? And I should play him more? I agree.
I think you could actually do a good job at live action too.
I'll get in that gym. I will get in that gym. I know how to make it look like I know how to knock a bow, but my my 7-year-old is better than I am. It's funny. It's like, going that way. Anyway, thank you very much for your question. I think I have time for one or two more. What you got, Homer?
Yeah, so I was actually very interested, yeah? So what was your experience like playing as Booker DeWitt from Bioshock Infinite?
It was okay.
Like, was there like anything like in particular that made like
Yeah, dude. Ken Levine remains a good friend of this day. And keep in mind, I'm doing both of those at the same time, at both Last of Us and Bioshock at the same time. And I can't tell. I don't. Remember that scene in Mrs. Doubtfire where he shows up to the restaurant and has to keep going back for a tea table? That was me for 2.5 years. And it shows, you wearing lipstick? That was me. So one of my favorite moments, everyone knows about this, hopefully, if you played the game, is Ken Levine got this idea. He was like, hey, Booker, I think it would be great if we're gonna have this scene where if the player goes down the steps, and if the player opens this door, and if the player looks in this corner, they will see a guitar. And if they pick it up, then Booker will pick up the guitar and kind of play a little bit, and then Elizabeth will start singing this song. And it's their first moment of connection. And what we will reveal, obviously, is why they're connected. It's because, anyway. So it was a completely optional thing. It was like, let's do it. It was our favorite, to this day, we still talk about it. It was our favorite moment in the studio of making that game. And for a lot of it, it really saved Ken, because it was a hard game. And he held on to that moment because he was like, this is why we're doing this. So yeah, man, the best thing that came out of that was, I'm glad you guys enjoyed the game. I enjoyed the game, but the best thing that came out of that was my friendship with Ken Levine. He's been a strong teacher and mentor and friend to me. So yeah, thank you. Thank you. 3 more minutes.
I just have a question. What
Choose your fighter.
what got you into The Last of Us, and how did you hear about your role?
My car. Kind of told the story a little bit, but I was a huge Uncharted fan, and making that much noise during Golden's panel, I thank you. Uncharted. Really? That's it? I got mad at my agent because I was like, you're putting me up for the role that I'm absolutely not going to get. I'm going to walk in there, and they're going to be like, all they're going to associate me with is the guy that's not right for the role. So I walked in, she was like, just show up. And so I walk in, there's a sign-in sheet, and I love that I'm starting to use my left hand to indicate writing. My son's left-handed, I'm not. But it's, I don't know, it's cool. I walk in and I look, and just around the room, as you so eloquently put it, big buff guys, and I see that in every chair. And then I catch my reflection, and I'm like, frosted tips, affliction shirt, and sparkly jeans, and like, weird taste, man. I'm like, I'm gonna embarrass myself. It's like, is there like a heroin addict that I can put this? And so I'm about to literally walk out. I was like, don't sign in. Because if you don't sign in, you were never there. And I go like this, I put my hand on the door, and I turn to walk out, and I hear the casting director go, Troy. Hey, she goes, oh good, they're ready for you. And she continues walking me out the door, and into the stage we went to go meet a whole panel of Fate from Naughty Dog. There's Gordon Hunt, Neil Druckmann, Bruce Straley, and I think Ryan James. And I'm walking down, it's a huge stage, and they're on the far end of it. So I'm walking in, and I look, and there's this girl who's kind of wandering aimlessly over here. I'm like, hold on a second. I walk on, I'm like, hey, are you okay? She goes, yeah. And I was like, I'm Troy. She goes, I'm Ashley. I just gave her a hug and was like, give me a minute. I walked over and was like, hello, gentlemen, what can I do for you? They're like, well, let's just kind of see what you have prepared. And I do my first take, and Neil scratches my name off. And Gordon goes, what do you one more time? I got to meet Helen Hunt, who is Gordon Hunt's daughter, is Gordon Hunt's daughter. And I said, man, I owe a lot to your dad. Because if he had not said, this is as far as the story has been told to me, if he had not said, I'll go one more time, and he recognized in me that I walked in and instead of showing them what the character looked like, I was showing them how insecure I was in the character. And this guy, he hides his insecurities. He doesn't display them. He said, I want you to go one more time. And he gave me some note, and to be honest with you, I don't know what it was. But it was just enough for me to go, stop thinking about yourself. Don't make it about you. Make it about him. And so we did it one more time. The rest is history. You guys have been very, very kind. Do you have any more questions? I got a very quick man out here and pulls the glasses to fill the room. So you can flip it over. I'm here all weekend. I don't know if another panel, but if not, come to the table and ask me these questions. You guys are incredible. You're the reason why I'm here. I'm very, very grateful. Thank you.